Ever wondered how vintage fashion became mainstream? Let's travel back in time to the early 2000s, a period when eBay was the new frontier. A few astute sellers recognized the potential of this platform and started listing vintage treasures from their small shops. Imagine a virtually competition-free market at their fingertips. The profits? Well, they were all theirs. These sellers weren't just business people, they were pioneers, venturing into uncharted territories of e-commerce. And their treasure troves? Thrift stores, filled to the brim with hidden gems waiting to be discovered, dusted off and sold to the highest bidder. The business model was straightforward. Find a bargain, list it on eBay, and by week's end, turn a profit. Sounds easy, right? Well, it wasn't a walk in the park, but it was simpler than today's saturated market. Those were the golden days of eBay, a time when thrift stores were gold mines waiting to be explored. Fast forward a few years, and the vintage clothing scene on eBay has transformed into a multi-million-dollar behemoth. A couple of savvy corporations caught onto this gold mine, and they began creating reproduction vintage clothing. These were brand new pieces, yet artfully aged to resemble the real deal. This shift in the market made life quite challenging for the small sellers. The once easy profits began to dwindle as competition surged. Yet, around the year 2003, vintage was still a niche, a unique style choice rocked by hipsters and eccentrics. Spotting a vintage enthusiast was as rare as seeing a unicorn. But fast forward to today, and it's a whole different ballgame. Vintage is no longer a hidden gem. It's everywhere. It's in our closets, on the streets, and has even wormed its way into the hearts of the fashion-forward crowd. We're now in the midst of what I call the vintage revolution. This isn't just a trend, folks. This is a seismic shift in the fashion landscape, brought about by none other than our celebrities, our movies, and our big brands. These influencers have not only embraced vintage fashion, but they've catapulted it into the mainstream, into the everyday, into the now. Vintage has grown beyond being just a style. It's a statement, a slice of history, a piece of culture. It's a nod to the daring, the bold, the unusual. It's a tribute to the eras that have shaped us, the times that have made us who we are. It's a celebration of our collective past, our shared heritage. And for those of us who truly appreciate the beauty of the past, for the true aficionados, there's nothing quite like the thrill of donning a piece of authentic vintage. The feel of the fabric, the story behind the piece, the knowledge that you're wearing a bit of history. It's an experience, an adventure, a joy. For true aficionados, nothing beats the authenticity of real vintage. Wearing a piece of vintage is like stepping into a time machine. It's a journey that began in the hidden corners of eBay, a marketplace once dominated by a handful of savvy sellers. These pioneers unearthed gold in the form of vintage treasures, sparking a revolution that would transform fashion forever. As the years rolled by, vintage fashion evolved from a niche market to a global phenomenon embraced by everyone from hipsters to Hollywood stars. It became more than just a style. It became a statement, a slice of history, a piece of culture. This journey wasn't without its challenges. Increased competition and the rise of reproduction vintage made it tougher for small sellers. But it also led to an explosion of choices for buyers and helped vintage fashion weave its way into the fabric of mainstream style. And so, the vintage revolution continues. It's a testament to style, history, and the undying spirit of those who dared to wear the past. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, in the world of fashion, vintage will always have a special place. Keep rocking those timeless pieces.